So this whole coronavirus COVID-19 situation put One Piece and Digimon on break for a little while because the voice actors could not come in to record their lines in the studio because in Japan they all do it together, right? Instead of how it is in the US where you have different booths, in Japan they're all in one big sort of like bigger booth, like a bigger sound studio to record their lines. But finally, this weekend, Digimon Adventure 2020 Episode 4 is going to be airing. And of course, that episode will be available on Crunchyroll shortly after. If you want to try Crunchyroll Premium so you don't have to wait, I have a link down below, crunchyroll.com/geekdom. You can try it out for free. And again, give it a shot if you want to. But what I wanted to do was, before Digimon Episode 4, which again, I'm not sure if I'm going to be covering episode 4 on the channel. I probably will do a review on it. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to cover Digimon for as long as it lasts. As far as I know right now, the series is probably going to go about a year. And because of the COVID thing, I'm not sure if they're going to cut down on episodes or kind of combine storylines. I'm not exactly sure. But again, the future is very, unwritten, if that makes sense, because the COVID thing could end up getting worse. We might have another break. So, like I said in my Dragon Ball Super video about the future of the series, everything in Japan is kind of up in the air right now. So we don't know what the future holds for this series. I know that originally they probably planned for it to go about a year minimum. So it was supposed to end in April, talking about Digimon, but who knows what's going to happen with that. We don't know. Again, we don't know. But I wanted to talk about episode 3 on this video before we get to episode 4, which I'll probably review, because I did do reviews for episodes 1 and 2 when they first aired, but I never got to review this episode. I didn't get to watch it. I got caught up on other things, but I did want to discuss this episode and do a quick little review on it. So Omnimon was like the big sort of twist, or whatever you want to call it, the big reveal in episode 2, and Omnimon is facing this this sort of virus type of monster, Argomon. And the whole thing kind of gave me some Evangelion vibes. It was kind of a slimy sort of thing. I don't recall it kind of having this sort of feel in the original Digimon series. It's been a while since I've seen it. But this did feel very modern. It felt like it was a good new take on what Digimon should be. But again, the episode did give me those Evangelion vibes. It did feel that way. And that's good. Like, it just that sort of sliminess to it. They're fighting angels and whatnot. I do like that feel for this show. Just don't have it go too crazy, I also really enjoyed the music in this episode, like when the eyeballs all opened up and like you hear it go like dun 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 dun. Like it was really well. It was very stylistic, and I did enjoy that. And then the scene right after with Omnimon like blasting the network and whatnot with like the blue waves. The music in that scene was beautiful, yo. Like, really, really beautiful with this epic violin. Like, this just goes to show how if something is pre-planned and pre-produced properly, Toei Animation can deliver a quality show, and they have in the past. If you're not rushed, if you're not tight on budget, not budget, but if you're not tight on production, if you're not, kind of having a messy production, if you're organized, this is what Dragon Ball Super should have been, like this. And it's just, it's kind of a sad situation that Super didn't really improve production-wise till the end of the series, because Digimon's off to a great start. So about halfway through the episode, it seems like that problem is resolved, with the virus, I guess you can call it. I want to call it a virus. It's a simple way of explaining it. But what ends up happening is there's like a link, obviously, that we find out between the digital world and the real world. And what ends up happening is the city of Tokyo still has power problems. So there's something else going on. Koshiro and Taichi do agree to not tell anybody about what happened because nobody would believe them anyways. And I wonder if in this version of the story it's going to stay that way or if something else is going to happen. One thing I do wonder about is how much they're going to stick to the original story, because there could be some very diverse and drastic changes coming to the story in the future. There was also a really cool scene where they're talking about what Digimon actually are, and they have a discussion about how they could be artificial intelligence, but they're trying to figure it out, kind of evolving into life forms like Agumon and whatnot. And I really hope that they continue this in this version of the show, and I hope they actually, by the end of the series, come to an actual conclusion about where the Digimon come from. Because, again, I don't remember the original series if they actually did figure it out. And if they did, my apologies, I don't remember. But in this version, I hope they do, because it is interesting. It's an interesting point of the series that could make for some thought-provoking, anime, really. So, anyways, it is after this scene that the power starts to go out again. It's right after the scene. I mentioned that earlier. And thus, the arc, I guess the first arc of the first 3 episodes is kind of the creation of Omnimon. I guess that's what you can call it. And now we're going to go forward with the next adventure. Berdramon's going to be in the next episode, the one that's airing this weekend. This episode ends with a cliffhanger because Taichi ends up back in the digital world with Agumon. So something is going to happen where... we know Sora's going to be involved because Sora gets introduced here. So something will happen where, they have to kind of explain what's going on here and, what's causing these problems. So overall, this episode, I still think episode 2 was probably my favorite, but this was okay. Let me know what you think in the comments. And like I said, I may come back and review episode 4 next week after I give my, after I see it, if I decide to see it. So this weekend, some new Dragon Ball videos are coming, including a new edition of Dragon Ball Mysteries. So check that out. Thank you for your support, and we'll talk soon. Love you guys.